All right, Lauren, thank you. Well, we're getting a closer look at damage in Smith County Precinct 4. Constable Josh Joplin is the constable for Precinct 4, which includes Winona and Chapel Hill. Joplin posted these pictures of trees down across his precinct today. Joplin says the Chapel Hill area was hit the hardest. Winona was also hit hard with multiple trees down and power outages reported. The constable says people should anticipate more trees falling.
And you saw those lines down. Looking at power outages right now, these are East Texas counties with over 1,000 customer outages. The most are still in Smith County, where Oncor tells us some people could be without power through the weekend. For now, Oncor is unable to provide estimated restoration times, saying a mix of problems, both big and small, are to blame. Well, along with the wind damage, there is also plenty of flooding to talk about. We spoke with a Tyler homeowner who has a city drain in her backyard. She says it overflowed around 9 o'clock last night, leading to several inches of water inside her home.
The only thing that we could do was get all of the towels and blankets and dirty clothes, sheets, everything that we could find. It literally took everything to line the back of the house to try to keep the water where it was. We couldn't stop it from entering, but we could at least try to prevent it from taking over the whole house. If we hadn't done that, it probably would have, started approaching the front of the house too.